What you do is you should become passionate about your gift. See, that's the key, man. That's the key. Nothing else matters. Quit tripping yourself out. You all have one. God gave all of you a gift at birth. When he created you, he put it inside of you. You don't got to go discover it nowhere. He already gave it to you. It's the thing you do the absolute best with the least amount of effort. That's your God-given gift. You just got to recognize what your gift is. That's all it is. It's simple. You've been doing it your whole life. You ain't got to wonder what it is. You have it. You know, quit going and taking all these courses and motorcycle repair and all that. That ain't what you do. What is you looking at all these commercials on TV? How to be a computer tech. You ain't tech savvy. Identify your God-given gift and go pursue that. Don't come out here getting this film industry and you're not a film industry person. Identify the gift. Running, jumping, singing, and dancing ain't the only gift. I tell this story all the time. A friend of mine, we were growing up, all he did was cut grass. He cut grass all the time. We used to call him Cutter. He had hedges. He had one push lawnmower. He was so talented, though. He could raise the blades and lower the blades. He could cut patterns in your yard. He could put your initials in your grass with a push lawnmower. Every time we go out, hey, Cutter, come with us. No, man, I got to get up, cut Miss Jackson grass. $2 in the front, $2 in the back. We laughing at, man. That's all he ever did. You know what Cutter got now? Cutter got a landscaping company in Cleveland. You know how much Cutter make a year? Cutter make $4 million a year. You know what Cutter do? Cutter cut grass. He didn't come out of Hollywood with me, try to be no damn comedian. Cutter cut grass. He got 38 trucks. He got every contractor in the city cutting grass, all the big companies everywhere. And when it's snow outside, he's so good, he do all the snow removal. He making $4 million a year. All he do is cut grass. If you fry chicken better than everybody you know, y'all be somewhere frying chicken. If you make pie better than anybody you know, you should be in the pie-making business. Why you out here trying to be in film school? If you braid hair better than anybody, get into hair braiding, do hair. If you color hair, go do that. If you babysit, if everybody trusts you with your children, babysitters turn into daycare centers. That's a gift. Go do that. Y'all don't come out here. You don't know about making no film. Now then you got to wait and now you got to get your film greenlit. You know how hard to get a show green? You know how many pitch meetings I've been in my career? Probably 200. You know how many shows I done got on TV? 5. I've been on here 30-some years. They've taken 5 of my ideas and turned them into shows. 200-some pitch meetings. Don't come out here and ask these people to pick you. You know how hard it is to get picked in Hollywood? This ain't what you want. So do your gift, man. The problem with success, the average person doesn't think it's for them. God does give you the desires of your heart. You have every right to want something. I mean, look, it's people that's not good people that get stuff they want. If you're a good person, why shouldn't you get what you want, you know? But you got to have vision boards. If you don't have a vision board, if you're not writing these things down, the probability of it happening is lessened because you're actually going against the law of attraction and the way that God set the system up. The law of attraction really does work. It's a very simple process. If you go in the house and you have a remote and you point that remote at the TV and you press the on switch, guess what you expect to happen? You expect the TV to come on. Well, guess what happens? The TV comes on. It's just because you pointed a remote at it and it's sending a signal. And what the signal has to get a return. So if you want to watch HBO and it's channel 500, you press 500 and you press select. You don't even think about it. You expect HBO to be on the TV. And guess what comes on the TV? HBO. You know where they got that from? They got that from the Bible. The Bible says a man is as he thinketh. So how you are, the energy that you project from your mind is what you get. And so that's why the law of attraction works that way. It's because whatever you project, that signal, that's the return has to come that way. See, and the difference between successful people and non-successful people is what goes on in between here. That's it. Everything you want from God, it has to be written. It's a principle of success. It's a law. It's not a theory that Oprah came up with for 30 years telling you about vision boards. Oprah didn't come up with this. You know, Michelle Obama didn't come up. This is nothing Steve Harvey came up with. If you have something in your life that you're trying to acquire or you want, and you don't have it written down, you have now reduced the chances of you getting it by 80%. Because it's a principle of success. It's in your Bible. You see, the Bible is full of all the principles you need. It tells you everything you need. So here it is. There's a scripture. It's in Habakkuk. It's Habakkuk 2:2. This scripture says, write the vision and make it plain, so that he who reads it will run to it. And even though it tarry means take a while. And even though it tarry, wait for it. For surely it will come at an appointed time. That's a fact. It's not a theory. It's a fact. I dare you to go home and write down everything you want on paper. Read it every morning and every night. I dare you. In 1 year, I want you to pull that paper off and put a check mark by everything you've accumulated on that list. You'll be stunned. You will be absolutely stunned. It don't matter if you don't believe in it. It don't matter if you've ever heard of it. It don't matter if you think it's hocus pocus. I dare you to try it. My motivation was to buy a big house so I could put up Christmas lights and drive in the driveway. And I'll tell you something. Every home I have, every house I've ever owned or built, you got to pull in one way and drive all the way around to come out there. I have never built, lived, or owned a home that did not have that driveway with gates on both sides. Never. That was the biggest motivating. So my advice is you have to find a dream that's so big that it overwhelms all of your fears and causes you to never give up. Now, you're going to think about quitting no matter what you do. I mean, I've thought about it many times, but I always just kept thinking about that house. A couple hundred billionaires in this world. They all come to Las Vegas once a year to Salt Convention. I was asked last year to be the keynote speaker. And I'm tripping because I'm not a billionaire. And I asked the guy who asked me to do it, I said, I'm not a billionaire, you do understand that. We said, Mr. Harvey, we know everything about you. We know your net worth and everything. I said, well, what can you all learn from me? He said, everything. He said, the reason we want to hear your story is because the majority of us that are billionaires, we inherited some money and we grew it. A couple of us inherited $1 billion, some of us inherited 300 million and we turned it into $1 billion. You come from nothing. What we want to know is how you got to where you are after coming from nothing. I grew up on a block, man, that it didn't breed success. A lot of people on our block ain't here no more, man. I grew up in a place, man, that was you had to be something else, you come up out of there. Prayer changes things. How did you live in a car for 3 years and wind up on more TV shows than anybody? How did you survive flunking out of school? How did you survive all of that? We want to know that, because in case something happens to us, we don't really have the information that you have, or how to come from the back to the front, or how to come from the bottom to the top. I was told I would never be nothing. Prayer changes things. I flunked out of school. Prayer changes things. I'm on my third marriage, lost everything I've owned twice. I've been homeless and lived in a car for 3 years. Prayer changes things. And so when I was telling them how I made it, I was telling them about the fortitude that I developed. And then I told them about the faith that I had. And that was really startling to them. Now, a lot of them are people of faith, but a lot of people who were born with a lot of money ain't really had to have a lot of faith. The cool thing about prayer is the one thing that's available to everybody at any given time. Do you know that God ain't ever too busy for you? You know that God actually knows who you are? You can be successful without an education. You can be successful without coming from a rich family. You can be successful. I don't care what color you are, what faith you belong to, your sexual preference. I don't care what's wrong with you. You can be successful. I'm going to tell you flat out, you have got to tie your existence to your creator. If you don't tie who you are to God, I got news for you. You're going to forever struggle. Don't you think I got here without him. I've needed him every step of the way. If it wasn't for God, I wouldn't even be standing here today. I'm telling you right now, you can never lose faith. That's the key. You have to believe in something that you can't see. You have to believe when you don't see no way how. You have to buckle down and keep believing. God is always coming. I'm telling you that if you solidify a relationship with God, you ain't got to ask nobody's permission. You ain't got to check in. He ain't got no line. You can go and form this relationship today, this evening, when you get home. I just never gave up the faith. I kept going because I ain't know how to quit. Because I know if I quit, it cannot happen. Why would you not go for it? Why would you not take a chance? You know, Tone Bell was out here. He said at one point in time, you got to take a chance on you. I've been homeless and lived in a car for 3 years. What you finna tell me that I don't know about him? I will tell you what God can do. He can do anything. God can pick you up when you're at your lowest moment. God can take your existence and turn it around. All you got to do is ask him for it and wait on it and be willing to work. Faith without works is dead. That's all you got to do. Y'all got a gift that God gave to you at birth. If I was you, I would do that gift for you mess around and leave this world because your gift will make room for you. You'll be the happiest you've ever been and you'll make the most money you ever made. I dare you to try it. That's a promise God made. Thank y'all. It's not much really changed, man. I mean, I did the show from the very beginning the same way. I just got more viewers. It's the #1 game show in the world. So from that right there is another example of favor. You know what I mean? Look, I mean, I come to work every day. I do the show, but I don't have to have the biggest game show in the world. I don't have to. Why? Why? Because he gave it to me. That's favor. You can set. I would tell you, see, people don't get it, man. You can put on your vision board, you want to be famous all you want. I want to be a star. You can't make yourself a star. You can't make yourself famous. It ain't you, partner. That's a decision God makes. And he gives it to you, but he gives it to you because of people. I'm who I am because y'all tune in and make me who I am. If y'all stop tuning in, this ain't the same dude no more. You get what I'm saying? And so what makes y'all tune in? That God gave me favor. Y'all didn't know me till I showed up on TV somewhere. You know, that's favor, man. You got to understand. A lot of people, they don't get that part of it. You know, they keep always struggling to find the answer for it so they can have some little smart answer for the reporters. I don't. I've talked to reporters all the time. I say it's grace and favor. What do you mean by that? Okay, so you don't go to church. Okay, I got it. Grace is God's unmerited favor. That means he gives you something that you don't deserve. Grace is given to you and you can't earn it. You can't purchase it. If I could buy grace, I'd take all the money I got and just purchase grace with it. It is God's unmerited favor. You can't even, there's nothing you can do to get it. he just do a solid for you. But see, you get solids because you ask for solids. You have not because you ask not. The majority of people don't have what they want in this world because you don't never ask God for it. You tripping, man, because you think it's about you. You think it's you. Oh, no, no, no. It's not. You got to ask God for stuff. He created you. You got to ask him, your maker, for things in this world. You keep trying to figure out why you ain't got it because you ain't asked God for it. Keep trying to figure it out yourself, how that's working for you. Huh? Better get to asking. You better get to asking. Why would you not? All you gotta do is ask God. That's what I do. Everything I got, I ask God. I show you my vision board. It's everything I'm asking God for. The how to is none of your business. Nowhere in the Bible does it tell you to figure out how to. It say ask, believe, receive. That's the trick. It ain't nothing else. I ask, I believe, I get ready to receive. Faith without works is dead. I'm gonna put in the work. So that's the trick, man. Stop tricking yourself out and ask for favor. It's really that simple. It's not, don't make this more difficult than it is. Listen to me, I'm telling you this how I don't have no education. I don't have nothing. I have faith. That's all you need. Faith. Come on, let's go. Just spend some time talking to your children about what they dream, not what you want for them. How about what they want? Because God's plan for them may very well not be the plan you got for them. Most of our children, it takes a while to catch on. He's only 18. Motivated to do what? You know, we ask these kids to go to college and claim a major. How do you claim a major at 18? You don't even know who you are. Most people get degrees, never even work in it because they discover later on that they don't even want to be that, you know? So it's kind of tough, man. I think what you got to do, what motivated me was anybody that asked me what I dreamed of. It's the dream that spurs a person. It's not education. The dream spurs you to get an education. But the dream drives everybody, man. People get motivated. Spend some time talking to your children about what they dream, not what you want for them. How about what they want? Because God's plan for them may very well not be the plan you got for them. But if you ask a young person what they dream about, you open up the conversation you've never had with them. And I ask all my kids, if you could not fail, what would you be if you just knew you couldn't fail and you could be it? That's where I start with all my children. So I have 7 kids, all went to college. Some of them finished, some of them didn't. Because if your dream don't match up to this degree, give me my money back and let's get your ass situated somewhere else. I ain't gonna keep paying this $40,000 while you figure it out. Wendy's management program or some, because I'm not gonna keep shelling out 40 and you don't want to be there. And I have 3 children that just didn't want to be there. And so I told them to get out and figure it out. My twins went to Hampton, went to Ohio State, graduated on time. All the girls go to college and they out in 4 years. Them goddamn boys. But I couldn't get mad at them because they was me. I was not a college student. I just wasn't good at it. I couldn't, it had nothing in there. Everything I dreamed about had nothing to do with college. And so one of my sons is in Abu Dhabi right now. Lives and works there. My youngest son, he wants to live in Abu Dhabi. Just beautiful place, peace, go. My oldest son works for me. My second son got a family. Y'all figured it out. But daddy ain't giving you. That's the key. You cut that umbilical cord to get to figuring it out. Ain't no money coming. You got to live. You like girls. You got to go on dates. You're going to need some money because I'm not sponsoring that. So they all figured it out. Somebody told me one time, if it's 3 people on a boat and a person dive off the boat to swim to shore and he get 100 yards away from the boat and he drowned and sink, then the next person dive in the water and he get 500 yards off the boat, but he drowned and sink. and the last man get off the boat and he dive in the water and he gets 6 feet away from shore and he drown and he die. Who the better swimmer? Who the better swimmer? Y'all all drown. I don't care how far you go. You can sit up here, man. You can keep talking this perfection thing as you want. You get as close as you want. We all gonna come short when it comes to perfection. Look, form a relationship with God just the way you are. God take you just the way you are. Matter of fact, God shape you up just like he need. See, he take dudes like me. He take old hoodlum dudes. And he, like, you hear people, they say they got saved and they got washed white as snow. You hear people say that. I ain't get that version. I just got rinsed off. When I looked up and got saved, I still had dirt on me. Now, if you got the whitest snow version, congratulations. But that ain't really how I go. God take people like me. I'm an imperfect soldier for Christ. And he allows me to say some things on his behalf. And you may not like the way I say it. You might not like my method. But I'm just telling you the truth, that you can be an imperfect person and have a relationship with God. That's all I'm trying to tell you. You ain't got to believe that. Because once again, I'm not in the soul conversion business. If you want to go to hell, bye. This is none of my business. But if you're struggling and you're looking for a way out and you lost a little bit, I'm telling you that God is in the forgiving business, that God is in the get your life together business, that God is in the make your dream come true business, that God is in the accept you as you are business. You can't fix yourself. If you could fix yourself, wouldn't you have done it by now? You can't fix yourself, but he can. God took somebody like me and turned me into something. And I'm telling you right now, I have no business even being here. If it wasn't for God's grace, I can't even explain my career to nobody. I can't even, if somebody ask me, they ask me all the time, how you get all these TV shows? I can tell you flat out, I have no idea. Because all I asked for was one. You know what that is? That's called grace. That's God's unmerited favor. That's because, man, if you ask God for something, he'll do exceedingly abundantly over all you think or ask. And all you got to do is honor him. So I'm standing here honoring him. And the reason I'm standing here, because when I was homeless and I had nothing, I told God, if you let me make it, when I get there, I'm going to tell everybody about you. So I'm telling you about him. You ain't got to believe me, but I'm holding up my end of the deal. I appreciate y'all coming. See y'all. It is a very uncomfortable thing to attempt. So you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable if you ever want to be successful. Start putting some pressure on. Put some pressure on yourself. Get out here and get about it. Look, I'd love to sugarcoat this thing for you. I'd love to tell you, look, you can go out here and get rich, do a couple of things. That ain't happening. You got to get real doggish. You got to get downright funky if you want to make it. Now, like I was telling you before, if you want to be ordinary, you ain't even got to listen to me. Just go on about your business. If you think ordinary's cool, ain't no problem. It's some really, really wonderful ordinary people. But if you are sitting in this room and you have extraordinary aspirations, then you're going to have to do extra. You put extra on top of on ordinary, and you come up with extraordinary. It's no other way. I'm sorry. But here's the fact. All of you have extraordinary capabilities. All of you. You have to decide if you are willing to do the things to put you in that category. Rich people don't sleep 8 hours a day. That's a third of your life. It ain't but 24 hours in a day. You cannot be sleep 8 hours a day. You can't live in LA and wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's 11 o'clock on the East Coast. The stock market been open 2 hours. They already making decisions about your life, and your ass was asleep. The Bible says, he who loves to sleep and the folding of hands, poverty will set upon you like a thief in the night. He who loves to sleep and the folding of hands, poverty will set upon you like a thief in the night. I'm going to ask you one question, I'm going to go. How many of you in here know somebody who loves to sleep? Who knows somebody that loves to sleep? Let me ask you something. Ain't they po? Your gift will make room for you. Now, what is your gift? It's the thing that you do the absolute best with the least amount of effort. That's your gift. Quit running away from the gift. Your gift will make room for you. Stop trying to be something you ain't gifted at. Nobody asked you to go down here and study to be a dentist, and you ain't really good at that. Quit going down to the church trying to sing. You can't sing. Now, just because they let you sing at the church, you're not finna, anybody else finna go with this. Because, come as you are, the Lord loveth a cheerful giver, all that. We don't apply scriptures out here. You come to the Apollo and you can't sing, we got something for your ass up there. Period. Listen to me. All of you have this gift. Identify it. It's the thing that you do the absolute best with the least amount of effort. That's what you should be doing. You're wasting your time pursuing your passion. The Bible does not mention passion. It mentions your gift. What are you gifted at, and do that? Stop tripping. You can do that. If you fry chicken better than everybody you know, you ought to be somewhere frying chicken. People make millions of dollars frying chicken. Popeyes, Kentucky Fried Chicken, El Pollo Loco. All they doing is making chicken. They just found a way to do it. Somebody just started making chicken. You know the story of Marie Callender's? Do you know what this woman did, man? She worked for a diner, a greasy spoon diner that was going out of business. It was her only job. She was a single mother. It was her only job. She needed that job, but the diner was going to close. So she went to the owner of the diner and said, let me bake one of my pies. People like my pies, and see if I can help you make a little money. He said, whatever, bring it in. She bought one pie in. They sold every slice. The next day, the people came in and asked for the pie. She had to go home and make another pie. The next day, so many people asked for the pie, she had to make 4 pies. Then people started saying, can I buy my own pie? She made so many pies at this store that she eventually saved her money and put a commercial oven in her house. Now, she done made so many pies, the dude's shop, he ain't selling hamburgers no more. All he's selling is them damn pies. That's how Marie Callender got started. Marie Callender now has over 120 restaurants. You can't go to no frozen food section without seeing Marie Callender in there. You know what she started with? A pie. One pie. The dude, when I had hair, when I had that world famous lining with that box cut, when I was Steve Hightower, Kings of Comedy, when I had that hair, the dude that cut my hair, I met him in 1986. He cut my hair for $10. I remembered him. When I got on TV, I hired him. He came out there, he started making $300 a haircut. I paid him 10. He had been with me so many years that he was making $1,500 per haircut. I was getting my hair cut 4 times a week for television and touring. I paid him $1,500 each time. He was making $6,000 a week. You know what he was doing? Cutting hair. That same haircut I paid $10 for in '87. This dude was cutting it now for me for $1,500. I cut my hair off. We had to put him on suicide watch for a little while. But then let me tell you what he did. I paid him a chunk of money for being with me all these years, gave him a severance pay, told him good luck. Guess what this dude got now? He got 4 salons and he owned 2 barber colleges. You know what this dude make now? $3.6 million a year. You know what he do? He cut hair. He cut hair. He don't do nothing else. That's his gift. Friend of mine we grew up with, all he did was cut grass. He had a single blade lawnmower that he pushed. He was so good at it, he could raise the blades up and lower them. He could cut patterns in your grass. We little, I'm going, hey man, we going swimming. Now I got to cut Miss Jackson grass. He could cut patterns in your yard. He could put your initials in your grass as a little boy. $2 for the front, $2 for the back. $4. We used to laugh at him all the time. Well, let me tell you what we're laughing at now. He got a landscaping company in Cleveland. You know how much this boy making? $4 million a year. You know what he do? He cut grass. He got 38 trucks. He got all the contracts in the city, malls, corporations. And when it snow outside, he do such a good job cutting the grass, he put plows on the front of his trucks, and he got all the snow removal contracts. This boy making $4 million a year, and you know what he do? He cut grass. I was speaking at a school once, and I was talking to the students. The principal was mortified with my message because I was telling the truth. I was telling the kids, your education is important, but your education is not the most important thing in your life. I'm sorry, it's not. Your dream is the most important thing in this world. It tops your education. Your dreams dwarf your education. I said, and the teacher, the principal came up on the stage while I was speaking. Don't ever say that to my school again. Well, I'm just telling you, dog. You could save your kids a lot of pain if you ever talk to them about their dreams. You got to talk to young people about their dreams. See, it's not your education. The Bible don't even mention education. It ain't even in there. Harvard ain't in there. UCLA ain't in there. The Bible says a man without a dream or vision shall perish. If you talk to kids about their dreams, your dreams can spur you to get the education. But if you never find out what a child is dreaming about, you can't hold their attention. It's the dream, man. Your dream. If you got a kid that want to be an airplane pilot, you can quit talking to him about education. Talk to him about being a pilot, how great it is, where he'll be able to fly. Put that in his head. Then he'll do math. He'll do engineering. He'll go to science because he wants to be a pilot. It's the dream that's the biggest thing. People killing me, man, with this education. I ain't knocking education, but you can make it without education. I ain't got one. You know how many people got degrees ain't working? Ain't working nowhere. And then you got people that get degrees and then want to go get another. Now, if you want to be a doctor, lawyer, dentist, stuff like that, you got to go get education. We're not talking about that. But you keep going to get all these pieces of paper hang on your wall. You got one degree, you ain't making with that. The you need two of them for? So that's just my opinion. That's probably not what most people share, but your dream, man, it's what you dream about. You got to dream about something so big that it dwarfs all your fears. The way you overcome fear is with your dream. You got to make your dream so big that nothing matters except that dream. You're willing to do everything that's necessary. I was listening to Will Smith the other day. Will Smith said the best things in life is on the other side of fear. It's on the other side of fear. But fear freezes people, man. The fear of failure freezes people. Suppose I don't do it. Well, you might not make it. But I got news for you. If you don't do it, you damn sure ain't gonna make it. That's a for sure. So I would at least go and see. Nothing you want is going to happen in your timing. It almost never does. How many times have you wanted to have something to happen at a particular time and date and it didn't happen? You know how many times that's happened to you? It happens all the time. So everything you ask God for, it comes in a process. It's going to happen, especially if you write it down. That's the secret. Everything you want has to be written. This is a principle of success that isn't often taught. It's the never giving up that hurts people the most. You pray for something, you ask God for something, then when it don't happen in your time, then you create these human excuses. Well, I guess it wasn't meant to be. I guess it wasn't the Lord's will. It'll never happen. It just didn't happen in your timing. But I can almost assure you nothing you want is going to happen in your timing. It almost never does. How many times have you wanted to have something to happen at a particular time and date and it didn't happen? You know how many times that's happened to you? It happens all the time. I wanted a bike one Christmas. Went downstairs, it wasn't there. I mean, man, come on now. I was pissed at Santa Claus, my daddy. I was pissed at everybody. I didn't get that new bike for another 2 Christmases. But I got it, and when I got it, I appreciated the bike, and I took better care of it because I needed it, and I wanted it. It's so crazy, because because we were poor, so I would ask my father for stuff that was, like, unreasonable. My daughter asked for horses. My daughter's an equestrian rider. I bought her horses. She rides horses in Wellington, and she was an equestrian rider. Didn't work like that when I was growing up. I asked my daddy for a pony. Told me to go outside and put some hair on their bike. So everything you ask God for, it comes in a process. It's going to happen, especially if you write it down. That's the secret. Everything you want has to be written. This is a principle of success that isn't often taught. But it's in the Bible. There's a scripture that tells you that you must do this. It's Habakkuk 2:2. Just go read it. Habakkuk 2:2 says, write the vision and make it plain, so that he who reads it will run to it. And even though it tarry means take a long time, wait for it, for surely it will come at an appointed time. Everything you write on paper that God puts in your mind and your imagination, he puts it in your imagination because that's a sign of things to come. That's what he puts. Everything for you, he places it in your imagination. If you write it down and keep the faith, you'll get everything on that paper. Listen, this is not a magic trick. This ain't no theory of mine. This is how it works. But everything I put out comes back to me because I put it out with the expectation that the law of attraction works, that write the vision and make it plain so that he who reads it will run to it, and even though it tarry, wait for it, for surely it will come at an appointed time. That's a fact. That's in your Bible. I dare you tonight to go home and read Habakkuk 2:2. I dare you. And then I dare you to write everything you want on a piece of paper. And I dare you to read it every day and every night. And in a year, I want you to look back at that paper and see how much stuff you have. I dare you to try it. I dare you. What I'm talking about now. You have to understand why you're going through the period that's causing you to make you want to give up. See, the devil has one mission only, is to rob you of your destiny. If you quit whatever you're trying to accomplish, if you quit, whatever you were trying to accomplish can never happen. There's not even a remote possibility. If you quit, there is no chance of it popping back up again, coming back later. Quitting is guaranteed failure. That's the devil's only job. If he can get you to give up, you have been robbed of your destiny. As you have aspirations, you got to understand that the devil understands your aspirations too. The devil's job is to rob you of your destiny. So there will always be an obstacle. So if you're waiting on the right time, you'll never make the move. You have to go. If he can get you to become a criminal, he robs you of your destiny. If he gets you to never follow your dream, chase your dream, he robs you of your destiny. If he causes you to think that this is all my life is, he has caused you to rob you of your destiny. This is yours. You're the captain, you're the master, you're the foreman, you're the general, you're the head. Don't give control of this to nobody, especially the devil. The difference between successful people and non-successful people is what goes on in between here. That's it. They're not smarter than you. God don't love them more than he loved you. It's just that they thought themselves into a different position. And that's all. You have to master this. When you have thoughts that are negative, that's not God. That's Satan. He's doing everything he can to keep you from being who God made you to be. You got to get focused, man. Do not let Satan come in here and function and operate, because he has one mission: to keep you off course, to make you not think it's possible. That's his only job. So he has a lot of people that work for him full time. They're called haters. I have lots of haters. They on the internet all the time. But who are they though? They don't even know me. People who are haters on the internet, I call them thumb gangsters. They just typing. Their little punk got a private page. They saying about. They don't even know me. So I don't give them no energy. I give haters no energy. Who are haters? Haters are not shakers and movers. They're not power brokers, and they're not decision makers. The only way a hater has power over you is if you give it to them. That's the only way. Martin Luther King said once, a man can't ride your back unless you bend over. I don't bend over. Long as you don't be what God made you to be. That's the devil's only mission. So he's going to throw opposition in it. And along the way, I don't care who you are, whatever you pursue, you're going to have opposition. But your goals and dreams have to be bigger than your problems. And I always just kept big aspirations and dreams. And then when I ran into problems, and I ran into some big ones. You know how you old people say, I ain't got no problem bigger than my God? Well, I didn't. God is always coming. Here's the deal. The moment you ask God for something, he boxes it up and he ships it to you. Here's the problem with the package. He never gives you the date that it's going to arrive. It's going to come. He just don't tell you when. If he told you when, it would destroy the relationship that's required to have an abundant life, which is faith. And even though it was times I felt like giving up, I still just, somehow, man, I remember all the scriptures my mother used to teach me when I was a little boy. They used to come tumbling back in my head. I was homeless, living in a car for 3 years. I just kept the faith. What most people do is to give up before God give you the gift. See, when you ask God for something, he boxes it up and he ships it immediately. But you have to remain on Faith Street in order to receive the gift. The problem is when God boxes up the gift and he ship it to you, he never gives you the date that the package is going to arrive. Somebody sent me a plaque one time that I keep on my desk now. Plaque said, if you're going through hell, keep going. I mean, why would you stop there? You know, I was in hell, so why stop now? You might, if you're going through hell, you should keep going. Most people move off Faith Street before the package get there. You can't move over on the I Doubted Boulevard. He don't ship packages to I Doubted Boulevard. He only ship packages to Faith Street. You can't get over there on I Don't See How Circle. He don't ship nothing to I Don't See How Circle. So when you move out of faith, the package got to go back to sender. I kept telling them $25 jokes till they started paying me $250 a night. I kept telling them $250 jokes till they started paying me $25,000 a night. I kept telling them $25,000 jokes till they started paying me $75,000 a night. Then I told them jokes for $75, then they started paying me $100 a quarter a night. If you make one step, he'll make two. And don't worry about where you're going with it. Just get started. He'll show you the way to go because he wants you to get to your destiny. But he got to make sure that you want to get to your destiny first. If you tell him you want to get to your destiny, that God you serve, he going to show you how to do it. You can believe that. Don't forget to pray. Don't be ashamed to pray. And don't ever be too proud to pray because prayer changes things. Thank y'all. A couple of things kept me going. Most of it was messages that I had learned from my mother. But I learned something about faith. Faith comes from hearing, not from having heard. My mother was telling me those messages years ago, but during my homeless years, I would rehear them, and that's when it mattered. And I had this such a grand dream and vision. I was willing to push through to see what the vision was going to be, to see if I could get to the dream. And I kept hearing my mother say words like, God didn't bring you this far to leave you. So I said, okay, well, maybe he ain't left me. Let me just see if I can wake up tomorrow, something will change. You know, then I kept hearing stuff like faith is the belief in things that you cannot see. Or say, okay, cool. So I don't see nothing but this homelessness right now, but I think I'm gonna make it one day. And I just kept going, man. I just kept. Now, don't get me wrong. It was days I wanted to quit. A lot of days. I almost drove back to Cleveland several times and just gave up. But you know, man, your dreams have to be bigger than all your fears. If you see, that's why you have to have big dreams, because your dreams have to be bigger than all your fears and all your consequences. What makes people go back is you dream too small. See, your problem in life ain't if you aim too high and you miss it. Your problem in life is if you aim too low and you hit it. You messed up now. So when you aim to the moon and you miss, you still amongst the stars. So it kind of keeps you motivated a lot longer, man, to help you push through. Because everybody's going to have a push through moment. Because everybody has a turn back moment. The key to making it is you can never turn back. See, God is always coming. See, look, man, when you ask God for something, God boxes it up, put your name on it, and he ships it the day you ask for it. Soon as you ask for it, he ships it. The problem with the package is he never tells you the date that it's going to arrive. If he did that, it would destroy the one element that he requires, your faith. So God sends your package, but he only delivers to Faith Street. If you step off of Faith Street and you go over here to I Don't Believe It Boulevard, he don't ship there. If you step over here to I Don't See How Avenue, he don't ship there. If you step over here to Ain't No Way Circle, he don't ship there. The package only goes to Faith Street. What happens to the average person is that when the package arrives and you ain't on Faith Street, it's just like the post office and FedEx, UPS. If you ain't there, the package got to go back. You know how many packages you got in heaven with your name on it that got sent back? This real talk, man. This is how it works. Being successful, y'all, is not a magic trick. You have to learn the principles of success. And you can be successful at anything. You really can, man. I don't have no education. I'm not really like school smart, none of that. And I got a lot of people work for me, got degrees. See, when I don't know something, I pay somebody to know it. Just come stand around here. I come down here and do the gift. I keep telling the jokes. I'm telling you, God has an incredible life for you. All you got to do is ask him for it. Be willing to put in the work. But now this work part is hard. Success is hard. But let me ask you a question. Ain't not being successful hard too? So now which hard you want? You want the hard with some options or some benefits, or you want the hard with ain't nothing going on? I'm going to take the hard with the option and benefits. Give me that hard. Let me try that. I can take a sentence or a thought and make it comical. Now, one dude told me once that, yeah, well, I hear you saying it, Miss Harvey, but you ain't funny to me. I ain't got to be funny to you. You've never bought a ticket to see me. No, I haven't. I still made it, though. It doesn't matter what nobody else think. What they got to do? I don't think you funny. Listen, let me tell you something. If you can think of something to get $10 for, I bet all of you have something that God has gifted you with that you could convince somebody to give you $10 for. I'm going to show you how to become a millionaire. All you need is to have one thing that you can get $10 for. I don't care if it's cutting hair, cutting grass, painting, babysitting, typing papers, walking dogs. I don't care what it is. Just get somebody to give you $10. All I want you to do is do it and get $10. After you get the $10, I want you to do it 10 more times. That's all. You'll have $100. Now, when you get that $100, whatever you did to get the $100, I want you to do it 10 more times. You're going to have $1,000. Now, it get a little tricky now. Whatever you did to make the $1,000, listen to me close. What I want you to do is do it 10 more times. That's what I want you to do. Don't change shit. Just do it 10 more times. You'll now have $10,000. Now, there's where you got to start using your faith. After you make $10,000 with this $10 idea, all I want you to do is do it 10 more times. Just 10, whatever you did to make the 10,000, do it 10 more times. You're going to have $100,000. Here's the trick of tricks. Once you make $100,000, you're going to have to hire a few people. And all I want you to do after you make the $100,000, same thing you did to make the $100,000, I just want you to do it 10 more times. Congratulations. You are a millionaire. That's how it's done. These jokes I'm telling right now, these $25 jokes. My first gig paid me $25. These the same jokes. This just English. I ain't learned how to do this in Spanish or none of this. I just kept telling these jokes in English. 10 more times, 10 more times, 10 more. Till they started paying me $25,000 a night. Then they started paying me $100,000 a night, $150,000, $250,000 a night. I made $500,000 telling jokes in one night. They're the same jokes. I just kept telling them over and over and over and over and over. $25 jokes repeated on a 10-time multiple. You could be a millionaire babysitting. You could be a millionaire doing eyebrows. You can be a millionaire cutting grass. You could be a millionaire as a barber, painting houses. You already have the gift. God has already given you the gift. He gave it to you at birth. You was born with it. God ain't never created a soul he didn't give a birth to. That he didn't give a gift to at birth. You sitting up in here, if you're poor today, it's because you tripping. You just tripping. You done talked yourself out your God-given gift. You done got some funk job somewhere and tried to act like you was happy with it. Now they done furloughed you, now you disappointed. You ought to be jumping for joy. Walk your up the hall, go take your gift God gave you and turn yourself into a millionaire.